Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you what my process is to take a photograph from Lightroom all the way through Photoshop and getting it ready to be printed, because I'm going to print it and put it there behind my sofa. But because it's a big place, I need to make sure the image is bang on. There's going to be quite a lot to it, and it's just going to be a sort of in-depth dive in how I go about processing an image. It isn't the right way, it isn't the wrong way, it's just the way that I do it. Hopefully you can take something away from it that makes your editing a little bit easier. Now, if you're not particularly clued up in Lightroom and you haven't got a clue how to use Photoshop, then there is something that's there for you, which is presets. Presets can help you achieve cool looks in your images without really knowing how to do it yourself. You just click whichever one looks best and go from there. Now, I do have a pack available in the description, which is a pack of 11 different presets, all Norwegian inspired, and each one of them, as you can see, completely changes the look of the image, and it's just a click, get it done, pop it on Instagram, job's a good one. And before we jump into the edit fully, I have created a photography-focused Discord community. The community is called Missed Focus, and whether you're a professional photographer, a brand new photographer, whether you're using the world's most expensive camera or just your iPhone, the community is there for all of us just to have a bit chat, ask for advice, get some tips, have a little chat with other people who are also into photography. So the link for that is in the description below. Click that, join the community. It's time to jump in and make, hopefully, an image that is good enough to be printed on the wall behind. So now that we're in Lightroom, you can see the image that we're working with. It's fully sort of stitched now, as you can see. There's the borders and all the rest of it where it hasn't sort of lined up particularly well, but I'm just gonna bring the crop in a little bit and go for something along them lines. Now I'm gonna stick it into Photoshop because that's where pretty much everything else will be, and I am gonna put it as a smart object in Photoshop, and the reason being is I like to be able to make adjustments to different things and then go back in and carry them on again without having to sort of worry about making it final. So what I'm gonna do straight off the bat is I'm gonna make 2 copies of it. I'm gonna call this one Highlights and this one Shadows. Now, when I was here about to take the photograph, the sort of right side of the image, which was the eastern side of the island, was still dark. It was quite blue and quite cold looking. There was quite some moody clouds. Now on the left-hand side of the image, which is the west, that's where the sun was setting and everything just had a beautiful golden glow. And because of that, what I'm gonna try and do is recreate that in the image. Now, initially it might look like I've gone a little bit too far, but don't worry, I'm gonna bring that back and sort of settle it down. I just like to have it all bright and vivid first and then work my way back over until I feel like the balance is just right. So what I'm gonna do in the highlights is I'm gonna click on Camera Raw Filter, and what you may notice for anyone that's never really dared dabble with Photoshop is it's actually just like Lightroom. It's basically is just Lightroom. It's built into Photoshop. So in this one, I'm gonna make all the highlights super yellow. I'm gonna go for maybe, I'm gonna leave the highlights as it is actually. I'm gonna leave all of it as it is other than the white balance. I'm gonna hide that one. I'm gonna go into shadows. In shadows, again, Camera Raw Filter, and I'm gonna make this one very, very cold. I am gonna drop the shadows down by 10 and increase the clarity, not by 13, by 5, and the dehaze by 5. Be very, very mindful when you're changing clarity or dehaze because you can completely ruin an image very quickly doing that. So this is what we're working with. What I'm gonna do now involves a plugin called Lumenzia, which is this thing on the right-hand side. You have to pay for it. It's not free, but it's worth it. You can achieve pretty much everything just in Photoshop in general, but at the click of a button, it does what would take you a hell of a lot of time. So it is well worth it. Now, with this, I'm gonna mask off all the light areas, which basically what that will do is it'll hide the orangey yellow that I've put everywhere other than what's white on the screen now, which is all the highlight areas. So I'm gonna mask that off. So that'll work that out. And then if you look, the darker areas and the other areas are not affected now by that really yellow-white balance, which I will tone down, don't worry, but the light areas are. Now we do the same for the shadows, but I'm gonna go for the darker areas of the image. I'm I'm going to increase that a little bit just to bring in, it was more the clouds that I'm wanting the blue into, because that's where the image really, well, the scene when I was there, that's the side of the image that was really cool and quite dark. So I'm going to mask everything else bar that, again using Lumenzia, and then this brings us to this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sit and brush some of this in and out with the layer mask that's been created. Basically anything that's in the mask that's black isn't there, and anything white is there, and you can sort of balance it out yourself. So I'm going to go through, change all of that, get that looking bang on, and then we'll come back and talk about what we've done. As you can see, we've changed everything a little bit. Everything's still looking garish, so what I'm going to do is we're going to tone that down pretty quickly now, to be honest, and it's dead easy because we can go back in. Now, the only thing that really needs toning down for me is probably this yellow and the white balance. It's a little bit too warm. I'm going to tone it down a little bit more again. We'll go to +10. And then again, we'll do the same sort of thing with the shadows. The shadows are not as bad, to be fair. I know it might look a little bit dramatic, but that's kind of how it looked in person, to be honest. And that's definitely one of the worst things with photography, is you take a photograph, you can see it, the colors are all vivid, everything's beautiful. You take the photograph and it just looks nothing like you saw it with your eyes. And that's generally the trick a lot of the time. It's just you're just spending most of your time editing, trying to recreate what you actually saw. So I'm pretty happy with that, how it is. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just add some sort of slight additional highlights to some of the fields that are being hit by the sun, and then tone down some of the sort of yellow that's in anything that wasn't being hit by the sun, just to sort of highlight them all. But it's going to be pretty subtle because it's close, it's not far off, and then we'll be moving on to the hard bit, so bear with us. So as you can see now, what I've went and done is I've actually sort of done a little bit of dodging and burning, not much. I have put a little bit more in the fields, and essentially all it is you put a soft light layer, where the white brush is your dodge, and then burn is a soft light layer with your black brush. The dodge is a little bit less dramatic as the burn, so you do need to be careful. And again, the beauty of Photoshop is you can just adjust the opacity of the layer. If you think it's a little bit too much, you can just change it. If you, with a soft light, you can actually change that to overlay, and it gives it a little bit more pop as well. So I'm probably gonna actually stick that on the on overlay actually, and maybe drop the opacity by another 10%. But yeah, that's one of the joys and one of the benefits of doing this in Photoshop now, to fix the transparent parts. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to highlight all the layers, so shift and then obviously highlight all of them. I don't know what the command is on Windows, but on Mac it's Option, Command, Shift and E. What that does is it flattens all of them layers into one image file essentially, which has everything on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on, let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm going to use the magic wand and I'm going to select the two transparent areas at the top. I'm going to go to Edit, Content Aware Fill, and then all of the green areas is what it's sampling. On this little section here to the right, that's a sort of render of what it's going to look like, so you can see what the difference is. And then that's it. You click OK, and now you haven't got them areas anymore. And then what you do again is I'm going to do the same at the very bottom here, Content Aware Fill. It'll sample the little green area. You can change that. Generally, it's pretty accurate. And then, yeah, that's that. Now, there's always some imperfections whenever it does this, so it's worth, especially when you're printing anything, zoom in, check everywhere, spend a bit of time, because there's nothing worse than getting a print like that one on the wall and realizing that you missed something. On that one, the horizon's out by an absolute mile, but I don't mind, I love it anyway. So I still need to fix the horizon, but I'm gonna go in, time lapse this as I zoom in and just really heal and brush all the little areas out. Sometimes you'll get a super fine line where the content of where Phil's done it. So I'm gonna go in, check all of that and fix it if it needs fixing. So that's that. There wasn't really anything to correct, which is all good. There normally is, so I was a little bit surprised. But anyway, next thing is this horizon, which we need to deal with. So I've made another copy of all of them layers, put them together. I prefer to do this once I start making these sort of changes so they're easier to go back on. Now, if I put a line and make it essentially a box, we'll make it white. And if I make that, we'll just go overlay for now. No, let's go soft light. Actually, I tell you what, we'll do it dark so it's easier to see. So if I do this, it's lined up perfectly with the edge of the island, and you can see on the image down this sort of area how far from the horizon the image is sort of distorted. So we need to fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the warp tool again. So I'm going to select an area, we're going to go to edit, transform, warp, and essentially what I'm trying to do is bring this horizon level with the rest where it needs to be. Now I think that's roughly right. We should be able to see that looks pretty straight, I think. It says the man who got that printed on his wall, and the horizon is like that. Never mind, that looks around about right. Now there's one more thing that I want to do to this, which really, I don't know whether I actually want to do it yet or not, but it's easy enough to try. So what I'm going to do is, basically, there's this white area that bothers us. This is where the sun was, and it's very sort of defined, and I don't like the fact that it's kind of got a sharp edge, not proper sharp, but it has got a sharp-ish edge. So I'm going to get a brush, 5% opacity, 70% flow, and basically I'm just going to click along this line and brush in just basically white in this super bright area. And what I'm looking to achieve is just to soften this a little bit. You can see sort of where it was previously, where it is now. I'll probably stick that on soft light, and then it's not quite as harsh. Make another layer just without being on soft light. Just a few more little bits. And I think that works a little bit better. I'm just gonna bring this up. Yeah, I think that softens it a little bit without it being too much. And again, this is subjective. With photography, it's entirely up to you, whatever you think looks right. I'm literally printing it on that wall, and it's gonna be big. So I'm gonna take the liberty to change a few things that I just don't necessarily like 100%. The next thing that really I need to do is just to double check whether there's any dust or scratches or anything on here that was on my filter. So with Lumenzia, you've actually got a dust button. You click it, and what it does is it changes all this. Now, this might look like absolutely nothing. However, because I actually haven't got any dust, which is rare, very rare, that there isn't actually anything really there. I mean, you could look at this. So this little section there, that circle there, not really anything that needs correcting. But when you do see an area of dust, you would see this little sort of dark circle, but a lot worse. So I'm happy enough to report that that is that, basically. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna save the file, take it into Lightroom, and we'll get a version of it ready to print, because you can't just print the version that you're editing for online use, because you'll get a shock when it turns up. So I'm gonna save that, and we'll jump back in when we're in Adobe Lightroom. So now we're back in Lightroom. What I wanna do is create a different sort of version, another copy of this file, because when you send it off to print, what you need to remember is that the image is always darker once it's printed than what it looks on your screen. It hasn't got a nice bright light shining through the screen to make it look as luminous as it does on your monitor or on your phone or anything like that. So what I would always recommend is a bare minimum is you increase the exposure by roughly half a stop, depending on the kind of type of photo that you're getting printed. But generally, as a rule of thumb, it's always a good place to start. Then from that, what you can do, if you're printing somewhere that are a decent standard printers, generally they'll have some sort of color profiles that you can download, which is from their printers, and it'll show you exactly or very close to how it's going to look when you receive it in Lightroom when you load their profile. But for me, I've got all of them bits to do. I'm going to tidy a few other bits up, but that is pretty much it. That's a process that I go through generally with most pictures that I'm going to be printing. If it's a picture that I'm just sort of not really bothered about, I'll generally just not even edit it, to be honest now. It's a bit of a waste of time. Like I said earlier, if you are looking for a community to get involved with and talk about with photography, there's one in the link in the description below. Download Discord if you haven't already got it. It's on Mac, Windows, phones, all of it. And you can chat, share pictures, and we're going to have some sort of competitions and other stuff in that community. But hopefully you found something useful in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next one.